Hi everyone, it's Jason here, and I'm about to run the next Canberra College Wellbeing Session with you. And I thought it was probably a good time to spend a bit of time thinking about how we deal with stressful times and some strategies for coping when things are challenging. Obviously, it's been a crazy summer, and there's some more big things happening in the world at the moment, and also in your personal lives with school and assessments and work and family and friends. How do we cope when things are stressful? So, first of all, what is stress? It's a physical, mental, or emotional state of strain or tension, and it's your body's way of responding to some kind of threat or demand, something that needs to be dealt with. And small amounts of stress are helpful. They kind of motivate us and get us moving, get us to get things done. But staying in that stress state for too long can have severe negative effects, especially over time. There's a whole list of effects, and I won't go into too much detail, but feeling overwhelmed, feeling panicky or excessively worrying, not having that clarity of thought, so being forgetful and disorganized, struggling to make decisions, and then physical stuff like weight gain or weight loss, headaches, etc., etc. So, how do we manage our stress? Really, there are two key ingredients. It just comes down to two things, and the first one is perspective. Because when we're stressed, it's really easy to see things as worse than they really are. We start ruminating, where we think about something over and over again, and we start catastrophizing and assuming the worst. So ask yourself, am I getting ahead of myself, assuming something bad will happen when I don't really know the outcome yet? Ask yourself, am I overestimating how bad the consequences will be? And really importantly, am I underestimating my ability to cope? Often, even if things are bad or you are in a difficult situation, you underestimate your own ability to deal with that. And you can do that. You can control that. And the last question there is, how can you control it? Well, what can I do right now to reduce the size of the problem? And that's the best way to reduce the size of the stress, is to take some kind of action. So check yourself when you're worrying excessively and ask yourself a couple of those questions. The second thing is self-care. And often we immediately ditch the things that we love or enjoy when we're stressed because we decide that they're not that important and we have to focus on other stuff. But it's actually vitally important during times of stress. So everyone's different, but self-care could include anything that makes you happy, that brings you joy, that keeps you calm. So that might be good social connections and spending time with family and friends, whether that's face to face or through your phones or computers. Making time for activities and hobbies that you enjoy. Keeping up a healthy lifestyle, which might include diet, exercise, sleep, etc., etc. On a quick note with the exercise, some of us have had our community sports cancelled at the moment. So trying to find ways of maintaining that exercise and still kind of doing what you love, whether that's going for runs or walking the dog or whatever it might be, to keep that thing in your life. And then we've got practicing relaxation activities, which could be any number of things. It might be, for you, it might be drawing or playing the guitar or playing a particular video game, or it might actually be some kind of meditation or something like that, yoga, whatever it is that helps you wind down. So we've got perspective and self-care as those two key ingredients. So what specific strategies do you use? What do you do? Do you like to walk the dog? Do you like to listen to music? Teachers, pause the video here and get the students maybe brainstorming and sharing and talking about some of the various things that they like to do to reduce their stress levels. Okay, so I'm going to throw out a few strategies now, and these might be things that you've already come up with when you were just chatting as a group, but I guess I'm throwing these out there as a way of covering a few different bases. So the first one we've got is music therapy, and we know that music is fantastic for the brain and that can actually kind of change the brain. Listening to music with a faster beat helps kind of sharpen your concentration. Slower tempos help you calm down and relax. Try listening on your earphones or your headphones with no distractions. So rather than having it on in the background, you're actively giving your full attention to the music. Second one there is taking walks. We know exercise is a fantastic stress reliever. Taking walks is also great because it allows you to enjoy a change of scenery. It allows you to get outdoors. So you kind of, get a sense of nature and the outdoors and the exercise and all of those benefits rolled into one. The third one there is progressive muscle relaxation, which I think I've spoken to most of you guys about before. This is a technique where you kind of tense and then relax certain muscles in your body, and it helps increase your blood flow and calm you down. The fourth one I've got there is writing or journaling. This is something that you could do at home, and it can be used in several different ways. You could involve, yourself in kind of keeping a diary or something like that. You could just write random little stories. You could use it just a way of clarifying your thoughts or writing down your issues. It can be a good problem-solving tool as well. Just sitting down and writing can be really helpful and handy. The fifth one there is time management. So obviously, honing your time management skills makes a big difference. Making a weekly schedule or a term schedule, that kind of stuff immediately reduces stress when you've broken tasks down and you can see when you need to do certain things. Drawing or colouring, engaging your creativity is a great way to relieve stress. And it's been proven that drawing and colouring can effectively relieve stress because of the way it puts you in a flow state. That's that state where you're completely engaged in something to the point of being, you almost kind of lose track of time because you're just in the zone. And that leads me to number 7 there, mindful activities. That could be any number of things. It's just about being in the now, being in the present and noticing what's going on around you. So that might be just sitting for 2 minutes and listening to every sound that you can pick up on. It might be mindfully eating. So when you sit down for a meal, actually, putting your phone down and paying attention to that food and experiencing the flavor. And these things work like a kind of reset button that brings your mind back to the present instead of having you worry about the past or stress about the future. The 8th one there, the last one, is a technique called worry well only once. And this is about good planning, where essentially instead of letting something go through your mind for the whole day, you sit down for 10 minutes and dedicate that time to thinking through the problem. Okay, what is the problem and what steps can I take to help solve it? And the idea is that kind of clears your mind and you're able to focus on other things once you've done your worrying. So teachers, students, once again, pause here and pick 2 strategies, whether from this list or from your own lists, 2 strategies that work for you. And it'd be great to think of a situation where you might use that, where it would be really handy, and then maybe discuss a situation where you might be better off picking a different strategy. I'll leave you guys to have a chat. So, worrying has never solved a problem. Only action does that. That's the key message from today. That action might just be taking a step back and having a break, or that action might be attacking the problem head on. I'm going to briefly go through a technique called stop, breathe, reflect, choose. And this is a way of helping reduce those negative reactions to stress. Basically, you follow these 4 steps. When you notice yourself getting into that negative thinking spiral and stressing about something, you just stop for a second. All right, take a step back and then you breathe. Take a couple of deep breaths and just go, hold on here before I overreact. Let me just reset. Then you reflect. You ask yourself rational questions. Is this really a crisis? Does worrying about it help to solve it? What action will really serve me in this particular situation? And will this even matter to me in 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 6 months? So think about the problem rationally and then choose. Make a choice about how you're going to react in a positive manner. You've got the power to choose actions and feelings in the face of stress. So like I said, worrying doesn't solve it. Decide on some kind of action that you'll take to help reduce it. And that might be going for a walk to calm your emotions. That might be playing your guitar for a little while to distract yourself from the problem. Or it might be making a plan or making a decision to kind of go and solve that problem in a more active rather than passive way. But the idea is that with practice, you can take control of your reactions. If you find that you're struggling to change your behavior, it might be interesting to have a look at this idea. You kind of need 3 elements in place to make sure you change your behavior in response to stress. So let's say I'm stressed about a certain assignment. I need all 3 of these things happening. So the attitude is my opinion. If I really want to get it done and I want to do well, then that's great. The second one is the subjective norms. This is everyone else's opinion. Do my friends value it? Are they pushing me to get it done? My family? Do the people around me think that this is important? And then the third one is perceived control, which is basically your level of confidence. Do I think I can do it? And you need all three of those kind of in alignment to make sure that you actually change your behavior to reduce your stress. So if everybody wants you to do the assignment and you know it's really important, but you don't have any confidence, you're probably not going to get it done, or at least not in the way that you want to. And if you're really confident and you really think it's important, but everybody else around you saying, no, don't worry about it, come to Woden or whatever, then that also doesn't play out well. So have a think about those three elements. How do you get all three of those lining up so that you reduce your stress and change your behavior in a positive way? Okay, I've left you with lots of ideas today. The key to managing stress is two things: having perspective, taking a step back and kind of analyzing the problem, and using self-care to look after yourself and do the things that you love. And everyone will have different strategies to help them. You've got that model there that you could use: stop, breathe, reflect, and then choose. And then to help yourself and to behave in a way that reduces stress, you need to feel strongly about it. You need to have that social support with what other people think, and you need to have the confidence to follow through. I hope some of that sticks and is helpful, and thank you very much for listening.